The goal, it started out as, very simple, whatever every aspiring artist's goal is let's write songs, get a record deal, be on the radio, tour full-time and all that stuff. And all that stuff is happening. But my goal changed very quickly when I wrote this song about my mom. For me, it's a song of hope, eventually I really truly believe we'll get there to, find a solution to this, a cure.
All right, everybody. We are live on the Bridge the Gap Listener Happy Hour, and we're so excited that you're here. And in a way, we're kind of building the plane in the air, but it's going to be a really fun time. It's our first ever live webinar, and we are seeing in the chat a lot of our friends. We're so excited to see you guys. Josh, it's like, all this separation, we've got separation anxiety, all these things that are taking place. There's so many challenges out there right now, but amidst the challenges, we have all of these heroes and all of these things and these love stories that we've talked about for so many episodes that are taking place right now.
Yeah, man, it is so good to have our friends with us. Thanks you for joining us. What an awesome time it is that we can connect like this. And you're right, Lucas, we're having a little bit of separation anxiety. There's a lot of shows that we haven't been able to make it to recently. So glad, thankful for people taking time out of their busy schedules to connect with us. We have a fun time planned. We have a special guest joining us. We can't wait for you to meet Jay Allen. As those of you that can probably see the bottom of your screen right now, make sure you're looking at that chat box, and we'll be connecting with you all throughout the show a little bit later on. But be sure, if you have any special questions for Jay that you'd like for us to try to ask him a couple of those at some point, put those into the chat box, and we'll snag a couple of those once we have Jay online with us in just a few minutes.
I'm seeing so many of our friends. I see Greg, I see Angela, Angus, I see Chris Bird, I see all of our friends on here, Cameron, Lauren, let's see, I see Courtney, Mark, Will, Mandy, let's talk about our friend Mandy Hogan. Josh, when we flash back to the opener of season 2 of Bridge the Gap, Jay was our marquee opener for that year. And, it's a great story that it's fun to remember how we got connected with Jay. We were able to reach out. Jay's always so open to talking. His story has just, touched the lives of so many people, hundreds of millions of people, in fact. And he was so willing to connect with us. And we were staying in a not so nice hotel in Nashville.
That's the understatement of the year. Talk about on a budget. Oh man, we won't call out the name of that hotel, but wow, it was rough. I've stayed a lot of rough places, but I was a little bit scared for my life.
It was scary. And we had this interview set up with Jay that we were nervous about. We weren't sure exactly what, how this was going to go down. Would he show up? All these things. And so we were kind of thinking about it, and we kind of looked at each other and we're like, we cannot record this here. And we thought, well, where else can we record it? And we called Mandy Hogan.
Connected everywhere. So Mandy, please help. Mayday, 911. And she landed us a beautiful place of her very own that she allowed us to basically intrude when she wasn't even there, move furniture around everywhere. And we totally impressed Jay. He thought it was our place. And we had to quickly say, no, Jay, we saved you from having to go to the trash hotel that we were in. This is thanks to Mandy Hogan for sure.
We walked in, it's early in the morning. Mandy had treats out, she had pastries, the bar was open. It was a great way to start the day, and just a beautiful place. So Mandy, we see you on there. We thank you so much. That was a great introduction into that. And so, anyways, we see a lot of our friends on here, and there's so much support out there. And, it's been overwhelming. Sarah and Josh and I talk about this all the time. It's such a pleasure and what a responsibility to have this platform for so many of you that have been on it We've reached out to you because of your thought leadership, because of what you bring to the industry. And I've said for so long, the reason why I love this industry so much is because of the people. It's the people in this industry and the people in this business that make it so special. And there's so many heroes, and we're getting to see those love stories even on a greater scale right now, because technology has now forced us to go virtual and online, and all of these love stories are bubbling up and people are putting them out on social, and we're getting to see them.
It really is. What an awesome blessing technology is. And we were talking about, what would this have looked like 10, 15 years ago without all the blessings of the platforms that we have today? It's amazing with the spotlight on our industry right now, the heroes that are always heroes, and we know they're always working. They have a special spotlight on them right now. And so they're shining. They're living up to what we know that they're fully capable of and what they live out every day in their communities. And it's so cool to see how many people that never really understood what the healthcare heroes did in these communities every single day when they go to work, or every night, those employees that are going in at night to work, what they're doing. And so we really believe that as we get through this, and we're certainly going to get through this together, that our industry will be stronger and a greater appreciation for those that are the silent heroes going to work every day.
Absolutely. And so we want to talk about just over the next few minutes that we're together, we have a couple of instructions. We'd love to know, we're looking here at the chat. I'm just enjoying this so much. I see Charles Motel 5. Yeah, we wish that would have been a major upgrade while we were in Nashville. But keep going in the chats. Write your questions to Jay. And then also too, as we're going through this, we'd love to hear, you guys, what are you thankful for? What encouragement can you give to the healthcare heroes, all the senior living heroes that are out there right now? And what we're going to do, number one, is this is a happy hour to talk about what we're grateful for, what we're thankful for, and to celebrate each other, to come together. Because we've been separated and a lot of our conferences have been canceled or at least postponed. And so it may be a while until we see each other. And we're hoping that this event goes really well and we can do more of them. But we want you guys to talk to each other, say what you're thankful for, and then also give a message of encouragement to all of the heroes that are in the business. And what we're going to do is we're going to take those messages and we're going to get really creative, and we're going to do something really awesome with that. We're not exactly sure what that is, but we'll figure it out and we'll get it out there.
So I love these questions that are popping up. It seems like, Charles Turner, you are hot, man. The fingers are hot right now on the chat and on the Q&A. Who has the best beard? And yes, Sarah, our producer, none of this is possible without her and her putting on all this and orchestrating all this. And she is looking deliberate and acting like she is being annoyed by you right now. Yes. And so, Charles, she's actually sending me a private message about you at this moment.
So I think now is part of the time where we're hoping everybody has a drink, whether it's an adult beverage or a kid beverage, whatever you've got. We've got some adult beverages here at our happy hour. And so we want to just raise a toast to all of our friends and all the healthcare heroes out there. Oh man, great. Love it. Love it. All the healthcare heroes out there and the senior living heroes out there. We just want to raise a toast that we love seeing our friends. We love being with our friends, even though it's virtual. We got to raise each other up. We got to keep the positivity flowing so we can all get through this together. So cheers to everybody and all of our friends on the chat and to all of our heroes.
And we have a couple of communities that we know that are on the line that are Zooming this live to their team members right now, actually in the communities that are on the front line. So be sure in your chat box, those of you, be sure and send a special thank you, because there's actually some heroes that are on the front lines on shift right now that have taken time away just for a little while to take a break. And we want to say we love you. We're with you. We are believing in you all the way, and thankful that you have just a few minutes to join us, and hope that you have a great shift.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm, you know, I'm getting text messages. I'm getting messages. People are hating on my beer. Yes, I've got a Miller Lite, but I've also got a Shiner box. So don't you worry, folks. I keep it real here. So, love seeing these comments. Sarah, have we had any questions that we need to tee up for Jay? Because we're actually just a few minutes away from bringing Jay on.
We actually have, several questions are rolling in, but let's actually go to one of our partners, NRC. We have Tess on the phone, and I think she has something to share with the crew.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Well, hello, friends. I don't know how to show my camera either. I'm really challenged, but that's okay. Am I supposed to?
You can do whatever you want, Tess, but you sound great. We can hear.
Oh, good. Well, we'll stick with this because I can't figure it out. But actually, some of our team members, we've been doing it for a couple of weeks now. Our good buddy Kyle on our team started this thing where we'd go to different senior living organizations or skilled nursing organizations, and we follow the rules of staying far apart, but we actually all made signs that said, thank you, you're our hero, and cheering on the team members and different staff as they do their shift changes. So we actually just got off one here in Lincoln, Nebraska, and it's just really cool to see. I don't think they expect it, and they're going in to do a really tough job. Actually, it's brought in some people to tears, but a lot of people are just super thankful and super happy. It's just a really cool experience, and I think just those little things make a difference. So that's been really exciting for us, just to see the look on their face. There's a lot of things that we can't do, but it's been really exciting and just really brings a lot of gratitude to our team, to show, what it's all about and why we do what we do. So it's just been a great experience. And thank you to all of our healthcare heroes today. You're the reason why what we do every day and bringing awareness to our industry. So cheers to you all.
Oh, thank you so much, Tess. Thanks for sharing that. Thanks for what you guys are doing and supporting our healthcare heroes in our industry during this time, and taking time to get out and encourage them as they go into their shifts and outside of their shifts. What an awesome idea.
Yeah, no, thank you for having us. It's exciting.
Awesome.
All right, Sarah, who we got next?
All right, let's head over to Angus Brown. Angus is with Morrison Living, and I think he has something to share.
Hello, everyone. Hope you can hear me okay. It looks like you get my mugshot. Like Tess, I can't turn on my video like I'm normally able to do on Zoom, so at least I picked that one. That's beard-free. I'm bearded up now, guys. You've inspired me. So thanks for having me. I echo Tess's sentiments, and I just want to tip the hat to the NRC folks for going above and beyond to show your gratitude. That's just such a cool story. And, it really ties into what I'm most thankful for right now, which is not just the sheer overwhelming feeling of gratitude for everybody that's working day in and day out to make sure seniors are safe and cared for, nourished, entertained, and keeping seniors smiling during this ordeal. But I'm thankful for the stories that are being shared, on social media, really everywhere. Last night, my wife and I were watching John Krasinski and his Good News, or his SGN network that he started on Facebook, and there were stories about our industry popping up in his medium. So, the world is looking at all of you. The spotlight's on you, and as we all know, as folks in the industry, you're not disappointing. You're doing everything you can and then some, and it's nothing short of inspirational. So just a huge thank you to everybody out there working so hard. It's awesome.
Well, thank you, Angus, for taking time out, and thank you for your message of encouragement. And, for our listeners and our fans, if you haven't had the opportunity to hear Angus freestyle rap, let me you have not experienced life. And if I could hold a beatbox right now, I would just ask you to just throw one down because it's inspirational within itself.
Go for it.
He's always teed up. Well, we'll maybe bring Angus back on the next happy hour as our featured artist for sure.
Thank you, Angus.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Yeah, you too. This is so fun to be able to hear from our friends and get to celebrate this time that we have together in this way. And I'm hoping that when things get back to whatever normal will look like, that maybe we even continue to do stuff like this in the in between times that we know that there's no excuses we can do this, right?
That's right. So Lucas, for those of us, we've had many more join us since we started this. And in just about 2 minutes, Jay Allen, country music star, recording artist, singer-songwriter, is going to be on with us to share a concert and to meet our listeners and to shed some encouraging words to all of the healthcare heroes. When we met Jay, he had recorded the song Blank Stares, and it had already gone viral. And Jay has been able to raise literally millions, tens of millions of dollars to Alzheimer's research, done tons of benefit concerts to raise money to find a cure for Alzheimer's. And it's all because of the story that you're going to be able to hear a little bit about already, about his personal story of his mom's struggle with Alzheimer's and kind of the impact that had on him and what an impact he had on us, right, Lucas?
Yeah. Jay, one of the things I was that really struck me about Jay was just his level of authenticity and humility. It's not every day that you get to meet a country music star, and I really wasn't exactly sure what to expect. And, he made us feel comfortable. And just the way that he opens up and is just real life in his story, it's just really remarkable.
It really is. And for those of you that have ever interacted with famous people, they have a lot of handlers and things like that. And Jay's no different. And it's been really cool that he's basically just one-on-one interacted with us since the very first thing. I'm sure he runs a lot of things by his management and things like that, but he didn't even hesitate. We literally emailed him and asked him, text messaged him and asked him what he thought about doing this for our healthcare heroes. And within 24 hours, it was a go. And do I see man signing on right now? Jay Allen, can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me?
Man, how are you doing?
Doing good, brother. How are y'all? I like your fancy headset. Oh, what's up, man?
See you, buddy.
Been a minute.
It has. We were just going over our story, kind of the origin story of us getting to meet you last year. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. It was awesome. And that was a beautiful condo too. We had a good time.
So the owner of that condo is actually in this video with us, and we were remembering that time in Nashville.
That's awesome. Yeah, that was a good time. That was a minute ago. Time flies.
Yeah. It was Mandy's place, and we were sharing, with the audience that the cheap budget hotel that we were staying at, we didn't want to invite you to, so we had to borrow a place, and Mandy was gracious.
Yeah, she was so sweet. It's all good, man. I ain't needy. I've been in 5-star hotels. I've been in Motel 6s. So it's all good. It was awesome. Thank you, Mandy. Good to see you.
Absolutely. So Jay, tell, most probably 99.9% of the people on here know your story, but if you could give a little bit of background on that viral video that catapulted this topic, this very needed message to the forefront. Can you talk to us about that? Sure.
It's pretty wild how it happened. I moved to Nashville about 7 years ago, and I worked really hard to make my music happen. And it was always an uphill climb. And they always said it's going to happen organically. And I heard people talk about the power of music. And I felt like I was always writing for myself to further my career until my mom got sick. And I wrote this song out of therapy, honestly. And she always said, I always asked her the question, why do you feel like God put you on planet Earth? And she would always answer quite frankly and honestly to be your mother. So that's how she raised me, and that's how she lived her life very selflessly. So the first time I write a song, selflessly out of my heart for her, she somehow still found a way to use it for me. So basically what happened was I was with Sony in Nashville. I was writing. I had a write set up with a good buddy, Jason Nix, one day. And I remember I had this song on my heart because my parents had come to visit me in Nashville. They lived in a small town in Iowa, and they made that drive to Nashville. And I remember the first time my mother walked in the door of my home in Nashville and looked right through me, had no idea who I was. And it wrecked me to the point where I did not want to be there in that moment. And so we decided to take her out to a local bar. And we walked in. I'll never forget. People had talked about the power of music, right? I'd never really truly experienced it until I opened up the door of that saloon. We walked in. My buddy was playing with his band. I didn't know that he was going to be there that night. And she walked in. She heard the music, and I saw everything about her change. That glossy look in their eyes, it went away. And she had this smile on her face. She was grinning ear to ear. And so I took advantage of it. I grabbed her by her hand. I pulled her to the front of the stage, and we started slow dancing to a fast song. And something happened in that moment. She took the music, hit her. She took a deep breath, and she leaned in. She started rubbing my back, and she goes, "Jay, I miss you. I love you, son." And she was with me for a minute, and it absolutely like wrecked me, but in the best way. So while they were in Nashville during that time, I experienced that with her a couple different times. And I remember the morning they left to go back to Iowa, I was just sitting in my kitchen, and I could not shake this line that was stuck in my head. It said, "I still see you in between the blank stares." I still see you. It was this positive thing. And I knew it was bigger even than my mother and than our story. And so, like I said, I went into Sony that day. I had this write scheduled, and I sat down and I had a voicemail that I kept from my mother. She had called me. My dad had sat her down to call me on my birthday. And she went to leave a voicemail, and she blanked out. And I kept that voicemail, and I listened to it every day to remind myself of, that this thing was real and it was happening. And so I played that voicemail for my buddy, my co-writer, and he goes, "Who is that?" And I said, "That's my mama. She has Alzheimer's, and today I want to write a song for her." And I said, "If you're in, the deal is we got to give all the proceeds back to help fight Alzheimer's in some way." He didn't even flinch, and he agreed to it. And so we wrote that song. I turned it into my publishing company. The head of Sony ended up calling me. Apparently he was in his office, and he was having a meeting with a bunch of hit songwriters, and he calls me up and said, "Jay, I'm listening to your song. You don't know this, but my father passed away from Alzheimer's, and I was his caretaker for 5 years. And I'm sitting up in my office with all these hit songwriters, and we're just blubbering, crying." He said, "I want you to know how much this means to me, but also I want to ask your permission to share it with some really important people and get it out in the world," and which he did. So even before the viral video happened, I had, some things in the works. It was on SiriusXM, The Highway, on the horizon. And we started performing at a bunch of these important galas around the world, and we're starting to raise some money. And then I got asked to go on tour with a well-known country artist by the name of Chris Lane. And we happened to go through my home state. And I had debated on whether or not to do this, but my pops, suggested possibly bringing my mother on stage during the show before I tell the story. And so I said, well, let's just see how it goes, right? So we got to that point in the show, packed house in this club in Iowa City, Iowa. And I think this is the first time we did it. And I bring her on stage, and I just looked to my right, and she's side stage. She's all smiles. So I'm like, I'm going to do it. So I brought her on stage, and she's like kind of shaking, a little overwhelmed. But the moment I started telling the story, she just wrapped her arms around me and squeezed me, and I knew we were going to be fine. So I told the story. I sang the song. Well, there was a guy out in the crowd, right in the middle of the crowd, and he videoed the thing on his personal iPhone. He put it on his personal Facebook page, which doesn't have a lot of likes or friends. And I happened to be in Oklahoma the next day after the show, and I get a text from my buddy. And he said, "Have you looked at your Facebook?" I got on, and the thing was just exploding, this video this guy posted. And in a couple of days, we had like 1 million views. And then it turned in, over 9 months' time, it turned into like 8 viral videos and 200-some million views. And so, because of that, it turned into a lot of opportunity. A lot of eyes saw my story. So I knew I had an opportunity to do something really powerful with this song. And so we did. So we've raised, now close to 40 million, helped raise $40 million fight against Alzheimer's. So it's been pretty wild.
Man, that's incredible, Jay. So this journey, when we saw you, the hit was already, it was huge. It was viral. What's life been like since like we met you last? I know a lot of exciting things have been happening in your life and in your career.
Yeah, it's been a wild journey. You know, it's the music industry is a slow moving industry, and I've had to learn that the hard way. But because of this song, a lot of young artists, they get signed to record deals, and a lot of the people that work for these record labels in Nashville, they say we almost have to create stories for these artists to seem like important, have like kind of a backbone and a foundation. So with this, I'm glad that it happened kind of backwards for me. There was a story that was created that is real and authentic and doing something powerful. And because of that, it translated into me meeting a guy named Mickey Jack Combs. If you've heard of Jason Aldean or Dustin Lynch or Joe Nichols, he's worked on all their records and produced those guys or helped produce them. He founded me and wrapped his arms around me, and we just started meeting and writing, and he signed me to a management deal. And that, as of the top of the year, it turned into a record deal. So I'm a newly signed artist, and we got all the music in the queue. And before all this coronavirus stuff happened, we actually thankfully had the opportunity to produce 3 music videos. So those are ready to go. We're going to release about 5 or 6 songs this year once all this stuff is kind of resolved. So we'll see what happens. But it's been a wild journey, man.
Exciting, man. So for the healthcare folks out there that are listening, and there's a lot on the line right now, we've even got a few communities that are on the line. We can't see them right now, but they're listening in. Some of the healthcare workers that are actually on their shift, and they've taken a little bit of time out to just kind of hear your story. But your mom obviously battled Alzheimer's, which meant your family kind of battled it, and you guys really got to see firsthand, as your story said. But even your dad, I mean, you've talked a little bit about it rocked his world because he kind of turned into the family caregiver, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, man. My dad, he took all the weight on his shoulders, and I saw it. Even, two of us, there's 3 siblings, and 2 of us moved away. I moved to Nashville. My baby sister, she moved to Bend, Oregon, but our middle sister was still in Des Moines, Iowa. So my pops and my middle sister kind of, had to take on the load of, the very beginning stages of having to take care of her, all the physical things that go along with that, things that daughters should never have to see or do, and then my pops, obviously that's the love of his life, so it wrecked him. Honestly, when it finally came to an end and she got to take her last breath and go to heaven, I kind of sensed this weight that was lifted off his shoulders in kind of a good way, and that he could finally take a rest and he had done his job. So, all y'all that are on the line right now and watching this, I can't say thank you enough, because, every day talking to, the nurse that would travel back and forth 40 minutes to come see her every morning. And then even when she wasn't supposed to be on the weekends because we couldn't afford her on the weekends, she would still come and make the trip just because she was so invested, had such a good heart, and she came to the funeral, and she had, made a quilt for all of us, with my mom's name on it. So, and then when we finally put her in the home, these people that, would stay an hour longer or, call us off their shift. It was just unreal to see the hearts of these people that invested into us and our family. So I can't say thank you enough.
Yeah. And, Jay, that story could be echoed time and time again. We that are in the industry, we see that. And we were talking just before you got on the line that this, pandemic, so to speak, that we're going through has really shined a spotlight on an industry that sometimes doesn't get the best attention. And we were talking, a lot of people have asked us, wow, are people afraid to come to work, or people like calling out or maybe not want to go in because they're scared because they're on the front lines? And it's actually been just the opposite. People more than ever are showing up to work, and people are going to the front line. And you see people putting on their PPE as they're going into the doors. And so it's really a battle that they're facing. And we really appreciate you taking some time out. I know when we called you just a few days ago, you didn't hesitate to do this. And I know you probably didn't have all your equipment and everything, but you told us you had your guitar. That's all we needed you to have.
Always have that, man. That doesn't leave my side. That's all Yeah, right now.
That's awesome. So, Jay, I think you said you might play some songs for us. I know people are excited to hear some music. What you got for us tonight?
I would love to. And I heard this was a happy hour, so I made a little gin and tonic. I hope y'all don't mind. Oh, there it is. Nice. Well done.
It is a happy hour, and we did a toast just before we got on, but another toast is definitely appropriate, and we're super glad that you're here, and thank you for what you're about to do.
Thanks for having me, brother. Cheers to y'all. Thanks for taking the time. I'll start with Blank Stares, and then I'll play a couple fun songs for y'all. So obviously, he wrote this song about my mother. Probably one of the hardest songs to write. You know, my girlfriend is also, she's signed to EMI Records, and we were talking the other day how we can write a song 45 minutes, but when the song actually matters, it seems to take longer when it means a lot to us. So this actually took about 3 sessions to write. And we wrote the song, finally got it done, and then my co-writer tracked it. He made a little demo in his bedroom in his apartment, and that ended up being the thing that everyone heard. So it's called Blank Stares. There's a voicemail that I keep. I listen to it just to hear you speak. Hey, son, turns to silence just like that. No, I love you or goodbye. Like you saw the phone in your hand and you didn't know why. It's crazy how you come and go so fast. Oh, how do I get you back? If I could only see the cracks you're slipping through. Wish I didn't feel so helpless when it comes to helping you hold on. So I keep holding on to every little memory made of you and me. Every little glimpse of who you used to be. I know you're still in there. Deep down somewhere, I swear I still see between the blank stares. It's the first thing that I think about when I wake up and when I lay down. It's the last thing I feel crawling through my mind. I'm still trying to understand it, sitting next to you, holding your hand and hoping you won't fade away this time. Just stay a little while, please stay a little while.
You in Nashville?
I can only see the cracks you're slipping through. Wish I didn't feel so helpless when it comes to helping you hold on. So I keep holding on to every little memory made of you and me. Every little glimpse of who you used to be. I know you're still in there. Deep down somewhere, I swear I still see. Between the blank stares, it's getting harder and harder.
It is, isn't it?
Disappear. Oh, you're falling farther, farther, and leave me in tears. If I could only see the cracks you're slipping through. Wish I didn't feel so helpless when it comes to helping you hold on. So I keep holding on to every little memory made of you and me. Every little glimpse of who you used to be. I know you're still in there. Deep down somewhere, I swear I still see you. Yeah, I still see you. between the blank stares, between the blank stares, between the blank stares.
All right. Jay, great job, man. That takes me back to the first time we got to hear you perform that. Chills, actually, every time I hear that. I was on a bike ride this summer, or last fall, actually, with a group that was raising money for Alzheimer's, and our support car pulled up beside of me with tears in his eyes. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? And he's like, dude, I was just listening to The Blank Stares. That song gets me every time. And so I really appreciate that. And I want to also reiterate, we've had a ton of people join, and there's several communities on here that we actually can't see right now, but and there's dozens of people watching us at those communities. And then also we have several organizations on here that represents tens of thousands of workers in our industry. So again, thank you for coming out and the message you're giving to them.
Of course. So good to be here, y'all. Thanks for taking the time.
Yeah. And I just want to call out this one. Somebody just left this comment after that song. It said, "Invisible ninjas cutting onions by me."
I know the feeling. I know the feeling. Yeah, that's why I play it like at the end of the set when I'm like just a little bit tipsy. No, I get it. Yeah, thanks for hopping on, y'all. I started with the sad song first, so which is like really the reason why we're here, to share these stories and to thank y'all for all your hard work. So I can play a couple more. They're really not related to, Alzheimer's or caregivers, but well, this one might be a little bit, but if you want me to play a couple more, I definitely will for y'all. Is that all right?
All the way, man.
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks for hopping on. This is just one of my favorite all-time songs. So, a little bit about me. My mother introduced me to country music. I remember she had this car. She'd pick me up after school. It was a 95 Buick LeSabre, and it was purple. And I hated this car so much, but I ended up loving every time she'd pull up in it to pick me up after school, after football practice, because I knew that she'd crank the windows down, turn up the country radio station, and we would laugh and sing every word at the top of our lungs all the way back home. So she introduced me to, Brooks and Dunn, and she loved Reba McEntire and Clint Black and some of the legends of country music. So I think that's what, eventually led me to Nashville and why I kind of landed in this genre. But also at the same time, my sound, and you'll hear later on this year, we're going to be introducing all this new music that we've written and produced. My sound leans kind of, like alternative rock, like late 90s rock or early 2000s alternative rock, which really isn't on the radio anymore. So we're kind of trying to bring it into the country lane. And so my pops introduced me to the legends of rock and roll. He has more tattoos than me. He has his nipples pierced. He's just a weirdo. But he introduced me to rock and roll, like AC/DC and Led Zeppelin and Aerosmith and all those guys. And I remember he brought home a Matchbox 20 record one time. I still don't think he's heard it because I stole it and I learned every song. So we play this song live at every show we do. It's called Unwell by Matchbox 20. Here's the acoustic version, my version. All day, staring at the ceiling, making friends with shadows on my wall. All night, hearing voices telling me that I should get some sleep because tomorrow might be good or something. Hold on, feeling like I'm headed for breakdown, and I don't know why. I'm not crazy, I'm just a little unwell. I know right now you can't tell, but stay a while and maybe then you'll see a different side of me. I'm not crazy, I'm just a little impaired. I know right now you don't care, but soon enough you're gonna think of me and how I used to be, me, talking to myself in public, dodging glances on the train. I know they've all been talking about me I can hear them whisper. It makes me think there must be something wrong with me. Out of all the hours thinking, somehow I've lost my mind. Yeah, I'm not crazy, I'm just a little impaired. I know right now you don't care. Stay a while, maybe then you'll see a different side of me. I'm not crazy, I'm just a little unwell. I know right now you can't tell, but soon enough you're gonna think of me and how I used to be. I've been talking in my sleep, but that soon they'll come to get me. They'll be taking me away. I'm not crazy, I'm just a little unwell. I know right now you can't tell. Stay a while, baby, then you'll see a different side of me. I'm not crazy, I'm just a little impaired. I know right now you don't feel. Soon enough you're gonna think of me, how I used to be. How I used to be. I've been talking in my sleep, but as soon they'll come to get me. I'm just a little unwell. My version of that song.
Love that. Love that. That was, I love that song when they first came out with that too, man. What a great one. So Jay,
Yeah.
I know we're here thinking the healthcare heroes, but you as an artist and just as a human, man, your life's been interrupted too. Tell us a little bit. I mean, for a lot of our listeners that maybe don't keep up with like Nashville and things like that, Nashville's kind of had a 1-2 punch here lately.
Yeah, man. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. You know, we're in Florida right now. We actually came down here. We got a bunch of friends down here that we've just met over the years from playing shows down here, and they allowed us to come down here to offer their house for us to hunker down and kind of have a place for quarantine and, you know, kind of wade through all this, you know. But yeah, we were down here playing a show, and my band came down and they played the show with us. We played a couple of shows in Bradenton and then in Fort Myers Beach. And then my band actually took my rig and drove back to Nashville. We decided to stay an extra day. Kylie and I did, my girlfriend and I. And thank God we did, because I woke up the next morning to my phone basically exploded. People asking us if we were okay, if our house was all right. I was like, what is happening? And then my tour manager, Jared, calls me and he said, dude, a tornado wiped out my condo last night. Basically, he said it was a beautiful evening, and he was standing in his kitchen. All of a sudden, he felt the ground just rumble. He saw a flash of blue light out of the corner of his eyes, and his windows just popped, exploded. So my tour manager lost everything. The pipes exploded. The whole roof came off the top of the condo. The whole place flooded. So we had to immediately rush back and, you know, we took care of him, and I actually let him stay in our house with us, obviously. And we raised a bunch of money to get him and a bunch of our other friends back on their feet. And then this happened, and literally Kylie and I, like, we stay pretty steady on the road, you know, playing shows and touring. And then I play all these galas and Alzheimer's events and things. Everything literally got immediately rescheduled. And then we found out everything's basically getting canceled or pushed to either this fall or even next year. So we were bumming pretty hard. And then, you know, we realized the seriousness of it. You know, thankfully we both have publishing deals, so we have a draw that comes in every month. But still, it's like you know, a lot of our friends rely on the money they make from playing shows. Like I did last year, I was strictly living off my income from playing shows. So a lot of our friends had to leave Nashville and go back home and apply for grants. And so it's a tough time to be, obviously it's a tough time for everyone, but it's especially a tough time to be a musician. You know, like these kids moved to Nashville and they bartend for a living to pay their rent. They're playing shows, you know, playing for tips basically. So it's wrecked a lot of worlds, especially in Nashville. But thankfully we have, really good friends that we consider family that have taken us in down here. So we're down here in Fort Myers, basically just writing songs every day and trying to stay positive, encourage others from afar to do the same. So it's tough. I can't imagine, we're scared to death just to, drive to the grocery store. So I can't imagine all these healthcare workers and heroes that are, going on, on the front lines, walking in the door every day, scared for their lives and having to go back to their families knowing they might infect them. I can't imagine. So it's a tough time for everyone,
Yeah, it is, Jay. And I think, it's really important. I think you have a special gift, like a lot of musicians during this time, because I think music and the stories through music transcend communication and speak to emotions and have the ability to kind of take people out of the tough situations that they're in, kind of to an escape. And so that's what we know this time is for these healthcare heroes that are listening. We appreciate, you taking time away to just be able to encourage and kind of help us escape for just a little while.
Of course, not an issue. And if you're ever having a down day, just get on my social media and watch all my videos. We're always being stupid and laughing. So get on there if you need to. Let it be your therapy.
Yeah, you do produce some great Instagram stories.
Yeah, we know how to have a good time. I mean, I think that, it's tough because it is such a serious and scary and questionable time. I think Kylie and I made the choice. A lot of people, especially, musicians, their labels and managers are telling them just stay off of social media. But Kylie and I kind of decided the opposite. We're very, we like to have a good time. That's our job, entertaining people. So we decided we can still do that, shine a light through social media, even if that's, us showing others, we're having a good time and still find a way to laugh and smile. I think that's what's going to keep this moving forward is just everyone staying positive. So,
yeah, now she's an artist too, right?
Kylie Morgan, she's my girlfriend. She's signed with EMI Records. So she just released a single called Break Things. So check it out. She's definitely my better, sweeter half. So very lucky. She's here with me too.
So is there ever a point in the future that people are going to be able to see you guys together on stage, on tour, or anything like that?
We did our first ever actually down here in Fort Myers right before that tornado I was talking about. She actually brought her band and opened up for me.
Wow.
So that was our first ever, but we've been writing songs together for quite a while now. So it's definitely going to happen in the future. I'm twisting her arm.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Lucas, what do you think, man? You're just over there just kind of soaking all this in.
I'm taking it in. I'm putting my mic on mute so I can sing along with you with these songs. So do you have another song for us before you have to get back to what you got to do?
Yeah, so we're going to be releasing a bunch of music this year, like I mentioned, and they asked me to – a while ago, my manager asked me to write a song that kind of described, me. We all have these stories, I've, kind of taken upon myself. I'm always apologizing to mothers because I have all these tattoos. I have about 70 hours worth of tattoos on me. And people always ask me why I decided to draw all over myself. And really the reason is, like I mentioned before, my faith really is everything to me. I know nothing. I'm not even here in this moment without my God in heaven. Having faith has, given me a security that I have, my mother passed away. She lost her life here on earth, but she's continuing on to her forever life in heaven. So I decided, everything we go through is a story. So, I started putting these pieces on me, these tattoos that they're each a story, So I wake up in the morning, I get to look in the mirror and be reminded of what God took me through to make me who I am. And so my manager asked me to write a song about it. We actually recorded it, made a music video. It is ready to go and to be shown probably, it was going to be this summer, but it might be now this fall. But this is a song about me called Tattoos to Heaven. This will be my last one for y'all. This one year I wasn't all there for. Had too much to drink one night and stumbled through a door. I got this cross on my arm before I knew what a cross was for. That one there, you can still make out a name. Yeah, I thought I loved her once, but all she did was cause me pain. Now she's covered up. That's how she's gonna stay. Just another drop of ink along the way. I take these tattoos to heaven, every line, every lesson. The ones I loved and heard along the road I've been on. They're the moments that made me the woman that saved me. I take them to the grave and ride on up to the clouds. My broken-hearted, washed in whiskey, holy confession. Whoa, I'll take these tattoos to heaven. I'll take these tattoos to heaven. Mama's gone, but she ain't far. She lives on, and every day her memory keeps me strong. Now she's part of me, 'cause she's an angel on my arm. Girl, I wish she could have met you, 'cause you're everything she would have ever wanted me to choose in this world. That's why you're painted on me, girl. I take these tattoos to heaven. Every line, every lesson. The ones I loved and heard along the road I've been on. They're the moments that made me the woman that saved me. I take them to the grave and ride on up to the clouds. My broken hearted, washed in whiskey, holy confession. Whoa, I take these tattoos to heaven. I take these tattoos to heaven. It's a fight in the rain, a ring down the drain, a drive to Tennessee. It's a smile in the bar, a kiss in the car, the way you looked at me. It's a 2 a.m. coffee through that wall, cut me like a knife. It's more than a song, a train, a map of my whole life. I take these tattoos to heaven, every line, every lesson. The ones I loved and heard along the road I've been on. They're the moments that made me the woman that saved me. I take them to the grave and ride on up to the clouds. My broken-hearted, washed in whiskey, holy confession. Whoa, I take these tattoos to heaven. I take these tattoos to heaven. I take these tattoos to heaven. I'll take these tattoos to heaven.
All right, man.
That's all I got for you.
Heard that one yet? That was awesome.
Yeah, man, it's coming at you.
So when that video comes out?
So we're releasing the debut single first. It was supposed to actually be April 10th, but because of all this, we're delaying. The label I'm signing with, they have offices worldwide, about 20 offices all over the world, and they've seen that streaming numbers are down about 25 to 30% right now. So to release a debut single during this time is a really bad idea. So we're going to hold off just a little bit. So we have debut single, which I haven't shared with anyone yet. I'm really, really excited about. And then after that, the second single will be this song I just played called Tattoos to Heaven. So I actually have a lot of radio PDs that are already ready for it. So we'll see what happens.
Man, that's exciting. Well, I know our listeners are going to want to connect on all your social pages and iTunes to be downloading your music.
Come on.
Thank you so much, dude. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. This has been a blast. And I only finished one glass of gin, so I feel really good about myself.
That's good. We kept you busy, man.
Jay, you really entertained us. And I can say, there's one thing that I did not think about for the first time in about 4 weeks while you were playing, and that's coronavirus. So thank you.
That's awesome.
Out of that mindset where fear lives and taking us to another place. And really that's what this is about, to come together virtually in the only way that we can. Thank you for your generosity. You've been so kind to us, and you've touched the lives of so many. I just want everybody to know on here, Jay did this completely for free. He never even asked for anything. He just gave his time, giving us all this new music. And, so we encourage you to go to iTunes and download his music and Blank Stares and follow him. So thank you, Jay, so much for what you do.
Hey, thanks, y'all. Bridge the Gap, you rock. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, buddy.
Awesome, Jay. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.
You take care as well. Thank you.
Okay. Josh, Sarah, wow. What an awesome event.
Yeah, what a great guy, and the three of us have had the awesome privilege of getting to know him over the last year. What a genuine guy, and I'm sure our listeners, all of you that are listening right now, got a sense of who he is as a person. Just a great dude.
Totally. And so many great comments. I can't wait to take time afterward to scroll through these. I know that I've missed some really good ones. Just thank you to our friends and our listeners that have supported us for so long. You know, this is season 3. And, you know, in this challenging time on the podcast, we're coming up with new ideas and new people to bring to you, new thought leaders and in new ways. And so you can expect that. Make sure that you follow this week. We're releasing podcasts every single day that's related to what we're going through right now. We have a big one on Thursday that's going to get down into the weeds of what this coronavirus actually is and some ways to stay safe around it. I know you're going to want to tune into that. So I don't know. Did we cover everything, Producer Sarah?
I think so. This was so great, everyone. Thanks for joining us and for an exciting happy hour in concert with Jay Allen. I've had a lot of fun. Hope you all have too.
We would love to have your feedback as well. So hit us up on social media, email us. I don't think this is going to be our last one. This was actually just the first one. And we just wanted to test it out with you guys. So I hope that you enjoyed it. And give us your feedback, what worked well, what didn't, what would you like to see next?
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. We really appreciate it. We're going to show you this video as we close out, and have a great night.
We believe in you. To all the operators, teams, and caregivers working around the clock to protect our older adults and our residents from COVID-19, we want to support and encourage you.
Even though we're in an uncertain time of social distancing and self-isolation, we have never been more confident in the people of senior living to rise to the challenge.
We believe in you.
We believe in you.
We believe in you.
Thank you for your resilience. Thank you for caring for our residents. You're amazing. We believe in you.
Thank you for being the calm in the eye of this storm. We believe in you.
Thank you for serving seniors and their families. We believe in you.
To every nurse and caregiver on the front lines working to keep our seniors safe, we believe in you.
Thank you for protecting grandmas and grandpas.
We believe in you.
Thank you for keeping our residents healthy and safe. We believe in you.
Hey, senior living operators, thanks for pouring into your residents and employees like you are doing. We believe in you.
Thank you for being essential today and every day. We believe in you.
We believe in you.